Hey everybody, it's Les Sulgrove. It is week 26. We are at the halfway point of the year. Next week's show will be the end of June as well as the second quarter report. But hey, I've got some good news this week. We kind of passed over it last week. So let's start the show and I'll tell you all about it. Drum roll, here we go. 4,000 homes for sale, finally. It actually happened last week. I let it roll because I wasn't sure it was going to stick, although it was still the 4,000 closed sales. But we've now gone 2 weeks into the year with 4,000 homes on the market. We've been waiting for that milestone forever, and I think I can officially say now that the real estate market is back to pre-COVID inventory levels. They're still rising, which is what we need them to do, but at least we are at a level that we haven't seen for some time. How long, do you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you about that this week. So let's jump in first and look at the dashboard. So here we are, 4,019 homes for sale. That's up 16% year over year. That's really, really good news. Basically the category that's catapulting, that's a big word for me, catapulting the number of homes for sale to this level is the existing homes. We're currently at 2,242. That's up 32% year over year. So that's really a good sign. We've got 328 homes came on the market this past week. That's also a good number. Anytime we get into 300s, I'm really happy. We've hit 400 a couple of times during the week so far this year, but as long as we stay above 300, that's a good pace to be at to make things kind of happen as we need it to go. So price increases down there in the center of the screen. Look at that. 20 is all we've had this last week, and that's been pretty much on par for the rest of the first part of the year. 386 price reductions. So they're still happening, guys. Price them right, because you know what happens once you start to take price reductions. Those price reductions kind of multiply in the median sale price. So next week we'll have the updated mortgage rate sheet here that'll show you into July. Currently, this past week we were at 6.77%, which is a drop for the last couple of weeks. Finally heading downward. It's not very fast paced, but at least it's heading downward. So, and also, we're almost only 2 weeks in, and since we hit that 6,000 closed sale mark, and we're almost already halfway there with the end of the month coming here this week. So I think we're going to be on pace to close sales faster to that 7,000 mark than we were last year. So that's also a good sign. So, all right. So the topic this week, over 4,000 homes for sale. Finally, now, if you've got good eyesight, you can see right here, this is where the 4,000 occurred, just barely over last week and also barely over this week. We're at 19 homes over 4,000. It's still a win, because look what the trending shows us from last year. It says that we're going to kind of maintain this pace for a few weeks if everything goes like last year. And then as we get into the August, September, October months, we're going to see a rise of maybe about 500 homes. So could we hit 4,500 homes for sale? It's possible. Not sure, but we'll see. As I overlay the 2019 activity over this same graphic, you can kind of see that, again, once we get to about late September, early October, we kind of see our inventory peak. And, we're right on track, I think, to hit that. So if we hit 4,500, that would be a major milestone for us. But anything over 4,000 is a good number. So when we talk about the number of homes for sale and why this is such a big milestone, I want to go back out and look from 2019 to date. And you can see back here in 2019, we were sitting with about 4,300 homes for sale, 4,300 homes for sale. And that's not too far off of where we are right now. But when we kind of look at in between, we had some low points there. And this is right during the middle of COVID. Our lowest point of inventory at one point back in March of 2022, we only had 1,667 homes for sale. That's the lowest we've had on record that I've ever been able to track. That's all homes for sale, existing homes, new construction, single family and condo townhomes. So 1667. We are not probably heading back there anytime soon. I hope we never go back to that level. But here's the big spread. Here's this spread from 4,000 this last 2 weeks all the way back into March, or I'm sorry, October, November of 2019. That's 293 weeks we've been without 4,000 homes for sale. So this is a pretty darn big milestone for us. And you look at this and you go, well, okay, that's kind of hard to, fathom kind of how that all hit there. But so I decided today, and this is why the show is coming out late tonight. I spent some extra time creating an updated graphic that would kind of help show this out a little bit better here. So here we are. This is a weekly grid or a box chart. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it shows you weekly inventory levels by the thousands. And the yellow over here was 2009. In fact, all but 1 week of 2009, we had over 5,000 homes for sale in the marketplace, 5,000 or more. It wasn't until December, that last week of December, we actually hit 4,000, just under 5,000, so about 4,900 homes for sale. So the color coding here that you can see is yellow is above 5,000 or more homes for sale. The green is 4,000 to 5,000 homes for sale. The blue is when we got down under 4,000, so 3,000 to 339.99. And then once we got under 2,000, or I'm sorry, under 3,000, so that 2,000 to 3,000 mark is the pink. And the red is where we never want to go back to. That's homes for sale under 2,000, so 0 to 2,000 homes for sale. So what we do is we look at this chart, and this one kind of shows you a little bit better idea of where COVID hit. So we kind of look here at 2020 when COVID hit, and it's all either pink or red. So it was really under 3,000 homes for sale for that majority of that time. And what I thought I'd do is kind of highlight a couple of key points to this graphic. So right in here, that's where that March 20th amount of 1,667 homes for sale was at. That's our low point that we had on the market at one point in time. And then if we go ahead and add in the overlay here that shows you the weeks since we hit 4,000, this has been a long run. So it started back here again, that week 46 or so of 2019, all the way through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full years plus about 6 months of this year. So we've been below under 4,000 homes for sale for just over 5.5 years. So that's at 293 weeks. So man, I tell you what, it's a welcome sight to see that back. So I hope you will like this graphic. I will keep this one updated and bring it out on occasion without the overlays on here again in the future, but we'll put this actual graphic unmarked up as well in this week's graphics so that you can print this one off by itself and share that with the customers, because I think this tells the big story here that the inventory is back. This is probably my coolest graphic of the week, right? Because I just created it, but I think this one's going to get some traction for you. So to kind of get an idea, and we'll finish up the show. It's kind of a short one this week since I spent so much time creating. This shows you the homes for sale from 2022 to date, and I've overlaid a trend line, which kind of matches kind of where I think we're going to end that year, somewhere under 4,500, but around 42, 4,300 if all things are equal. However, we've seen that this year is just a little bit faster paced, and we're seeing more inventory come on earlier. So it is conceivable that we could hit 4,500, but I'm just not willing to bet the bank on it right now. As far as pricing goes, now, since we're also looking at for sale, let's see what the median list price of homes are this past year. And what you can see is that we are really below where we've been the last year. Here, last year we were sitting at right around 370,000, and we're currently at 355. So again, that's about a $15,000 swing. No, it's actually $15,000 swing from a year ago, and there's really no signs of it going up either. So the list price of homes are coming down, and again, this takes into account a lot of the price reductions. So as we see this median list price come down, we can expect that median sale prices will also come down. In fact, we'll probably stay at this rate here sometime into the mid to late fall until we get into maybe October there. So when we start to see our typical market slow down. as far as pricing goes. So as far as looking at the trend line again, here we are looking back to get my head out of the way, 2022 all the way up through to date, and that trend line looking at just this data shows us that we're probably going to stay right around that as well for the end of the year. This little quick slide up here, this fast rise, that was in 2022 when home prices just basically escalated that year, when everything was so short of inventory and everybody was buying. The median sale price, where we're going to predict that to be when we get to the end of the year, it looks like it's probably going to be at or under $300,000 by the time we get to the end of the year. So even though home prices are higher, around that 320 to 350 mark there, our sale prices are going to end up closer to about that 300 to just a little under that, if all things are equal. In fact, we've kind of maintained pace the last few weeks of 2024's median sale price. So anyway, so really that's kind of the show. Next week we're going to look at end of June, so end of the month as well as the end of the quarter, and it'll be a good show. I think there's going to be a lot of information to bring out, and plus, if you've stayed this long, I want to tell you, I've heard some people asking for a specific graphic to come back that I do each month, and I haven't done it much this year. In fact, I haven't done it at all this year. So I'm going to bring back a popular graphic that has to do with the Metro. If you know what that is, you can be excited. If you want to guess, put it in the chat here, either on social media or on YouTube. Leave me a message and tell me what you think that the missing graphic is. There'll actually be 2 in there. So let me know what you think. Anyway, enjoy the weekend next week. Be sure and be careful with 4th of July and fireworks next weekend. We have about 5 full days of business before everybody kind of decides to take the weekend off. So I'm going to expect the end of the week's data to be down a little bit, just because the way the holiday lands at the end of the year, or at the end of the month. So end of the week, beginning of the month. Jeez, it's like I've been out in the sun. All right, guys, that's it. We'll talk to y'all again next week. Be safe, and we'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for joining me.